Hello everyone! If you've watched the last few videos on our channel, you know that we are in Sicily. And how could we come to Sicily without visiting Etna, the highest active volcano in Europe? Our trip starts in Catania, the city we have visited in our last 4 videos, which you can find linked in the description of this video or in the card above. On today's trip, we are going with Luca, our guide from The Tourist, an agency in Catania. Our first stop is at a grotto formed as a result of a volcanic eruption that began on February 1st in 252 AD, at the end of the reign of the Roman Emperor Traiano Decius. This particularly violent eruption started from Monte Monpeloso, near Nicolosis, and reached Catania. Legend has it that the eruption ended on February 5th thanks to the veil of Saint Agatha, who was martyred the previous year on February 5th. Today, what remains of that eruption is Grotta Monpeloso, which consists of a 55-meter-long gallery with a characteristic pointed arch ceiling. To go inside, we have to go down a short dirt slope that leads to the lowest point of the cave, which is also the widest, at 6 meters wide and 6 meters high. From there, we continue to climb through the gallery, which progressively narrows as we go. The volcanoes of Mount Etna, the one in our day called Monte Bello, leave behind them as a result of their eruptions a hard rock dark in color called basalt. During volcanic eruptions, the surface layer of the lava can cool much faster than the one in the lower layer, so the hot lava still flows underneath until the eruption ends, and the lava goes to the maximum underground flow point, cools, contracts, and leaves behind a gallery of the type we're in now. Our guide is telling us that in the past, before the invention of refrigerators, the locals used to store ice and snow in these types of grottos, which they used to preserve food all year round, thanks to the constant temperature that could be maintained in here. Such galleries were also used in antiquity as dwellings or burial sites. As we climb, the muddy soil we walk on is replaced first by chunks of stone and then by a uniform floor of cooled lava. After passing an obstacle, we reach a small room where we can see stalactites formed by suspended lava, and in several places the walls are whitish due to plagioclase crystals that formed when the lava cooled. Walking through the grotto is fascinating, but it is time to move on. On our way to Monte Silvestri, where we will see very closely an inactive crater of the Monte Bello volcano, we will stop to admire Mount Etna from a distance and give you a few moments as well to enjoy the view. The next stop is near a place that proves once again how powerless we are in front of nature, and that we should have more respect for it. We are in the place through which the lava flow resulting from the eruption of 1983 made its way, destroying the Etna cable cart, sports areas, various restaurants and commercial areas in the section between Nicolosis and Rifugio Sapienza. The eruption lasted 131 days. And what we see here is the only house left in this area as a testimony of the catastrophe, although we only see the roof of this house, and it may seem like a small house. Luca tells us that in reality it is a 2-story villa. Today is a very clear day, so we can see the towns at the base of Mount Etna in the distance, and the view stretches quite far, which doesn't happen too often at this time of year when we have visited. The next stop is in the area of Piazzale Rifugio Sapienza. Located at 1,910 meters above the sea level. In this area we still find shops, restaurants and the Giovanni Sapienza Refuge, which is a former alpine refuge on the southeastern slope of Etna and belongs to the municipality of Nicolosis. The refuge is actually the base of the Etna South Ski Resort, located at the end of the road that climbs the southeastern side of Etna from the area of Catania. The refuge was built after the Second World War by the section of the Italian Alpine Club in Catania, and today it is used as a hotel and has been repeatedly affected by the eruptions of Mount Etna. Also from this area you can go up with a cable car to an altitude of 2,500 meters. But we chose to walk on the edge of an extinct crater, from where the view is spectacular. The name of the trail we're on is the Goat Climb, and it passes near the Sapienza Refuge. As you can see, there is quite a lot of snow, because we did the trip in February, so we were lucky to be able to climb this far. If we would have come a week earlier, it would have been impossible to do this trail. We head to the Silvetri Craters, which, although formed in Etna's recent history, are now inactive and can be visited safely. Compared to the craters at high altitudes, the northeastern crater, Voragine, Boccanova, and the two that make up the southeastern crater complex, which are active and no one is allowed near them for safety. Etna is one of the most active volcanoes in the world, and according to research, the source that fuels Etna's eruptions is actually found under the fault of the Ibleo-Maltese escarpment. The eruptions from the summit can be extremely explosive and spectacular and are called paroxysms, but they rarely threaten the inhabited areas near the volcano. In contrast, the eruption from the flanks can occur from craters located up to several hundreds of meters in altitude, close to or well within the inhabited areas. Numerous villages and small towns are located around or on the cones of past flank eruptions. The crater on the edge of which we are standing is a flank one. It is extinct and takes its name from the Italian geologist and volcanologist Orazio Silvestri. And the view from up here is spectacular. We can see far away into the distance the coastal area of Sicily and the Mediterranean Sea. We found small stones on the way, called lapilli. These are thrown by the volcano during violent eruptions, sometimes quite far away. They, together with ash and very large rocks, called volcanic bombs, which can even be the size of a car, are known as pyroclastic materials. We are on the upper Silvestri crater, and in front of us we can see the lower Silvestri crater. What we see in the crater, these plants of a yellowish color, are called saponaria, and they are pioneer plants on the volcanic soil. A soil not exactly hospitable for the majority of plants. So saponaria, being the first to appear here, prepares it to be used later on by other species of plants. And with this last glimpse of the beautiful views from Mount Etna, today's hike comes to an end. If you've liked today's trip and want to join us on the next one, subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when we release a new video. Share this video with others and leave it a like, so we know you've enjoyed it. And in 2 weeks we will take you for a day trip in Syracuse, where the archaeological park of Neapolis, the Temple of Apollo, and many other beautiful places await.